Jannik Sinner v Carlos Alcaraz. Semi-finals of the French Open. And it's 2 sets all. And Alcaraz leads with a breaker serve in the final set. 2-love. As it's a Carlos Alcaraz service game. And Carlos Alcaraz has won the first point of this service game. Alcaraz for wide serve, but just out, so second serve. Alcaraz reserve, centre wide box, in over backhand return, and then Carlos Alcaraz strikes with a backhand to the right, and it's a backhand winner from Carlos Alcaraz. 30-love. 2 sets all, and Alcaraz leads with a breaker serve in the final set. 2-love. 6 backhand winners in this match for Jannik Sinner. 12 backhand winners for Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz with a centre to wide serve of the box, in a return to forehand from Alcaraz, then backhand to backhand of about 3 shots each. So the fourth backhand from Sinner, and forehand to forehand. The backhand drop shot to the right from Carlos Alcaraz, but Jannik Sinner is onto it and returns it with a forehand drop shot to the right, and Carlos Alcaraz gets to it with a bit of a backhand shot, but it just hits the net. So 30-15. Both players got to the drop shot from a drop shot each, but Jannik Sinner edges that point. Alcaraz with a serve towards wide, but it hits the net, so second serve. Alcaraz for wide serve with depth. In a return to a backhand, and with a bit of depth to the right, and then Carlos Alcaraz's forehand just hits the net, so first. This is potentially a big game in the match and in this 5th and final set. Alcaraz will serve towards the centre. Alcaraz serve to the centre, hits the top of the net and bounces, so let second serve. Alcaraz will serve to the centre, a bit of depth, in a forehand return, forehand to forehand, and then backhand to backhand of 3 shots each. And Alcaraz's third, backhand to the right hand depth, and then after another shot or so, Carlos Alcaraz strikes with a forehand to the right, and it's a forehand winner from Carlos Alcaraz. 40-30. Backhand with depth to the right from Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner returned it, but then Carlos Alcaraz then struck a forehand winner to the right on the next shot. (26) forehand winners Carlos Alcaraz in this match. 13 for Jannik Sinner. Alcaraz with a wide serve with depth, Sinner with backhand return. Then forehand to the right with depth from Alcaraz. Sinner returns, and it's a forehand drop shot winner from Carlos Alcaraz. And In this fifth and final set, Carlos Alcaraz leads with a breaker serve at 3-love and 2 sets all. Jannik's in a service game. Total points won in this match, 124 each. Jannik's in a service game. 3-love Carlos Alcaraz with breaker serve in the fifth and final set. 2 sets all. Sinner of a serve to the centre of the box with depth. Carlos Alcaraz's forehand return just hits the net, so 15-love. Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Alcaraz with backhand return with depth, but it to the right, but it's just out, so 30-love. Sinner of a serve towards the centre, but it just hits the net, so second serve. Sinner with second serve to the centre, and Carlos Alcaraz backhand return to the right with depth. And Jannik Sinner, with a backhand return. But Carlos Alcaraz at the net with a forehand volley to the left, and it's a winner. Forehand volley winner from Carlos Alcaraz. 30-15. Sinner with a serve towards centre with depth. Alcaraz forehand with depth, and a Sinner with a forehand with depth. Forehand drop shot to the right from Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner is onto it with a backhand, but then Carlos Alcaraz with a forehand passing shot to the left, and it's a winner. Forehand passing shot winner from Carlos Alcaraz. 30 all. Sinner with serve towards centre with depth. Alcaraz with backhand return forehand to the right with depth from Sinner. Forehand from Alcaraz. And then Jannik Sinner strikes with a forehand to the left. Forehand winner from Jannik Sinner. 40-30. $60 winners for Carlos Alcaraz in this match. 33 for Jannik Sinner. Sinner, the wide serve of depth. Alcaraz returns. And then Jannik Sinner strikes a backhand to the right. And it's a backhand winner from Jannik. 3-1 Carlos Alcaraz with a breaker serve in the fifth and final set, and 2 sets all. So Carlos Alcaraz service game. 3-1 Alcaraz with a breaker serve in the fifth and final set, 2 sets all. Alcaraz was served towards the centre, but just out, so second serve. Alcaraz serves to the centre with depth, Sinner with backhand return, forehand with a bit of depth from Alcaraz. Then forehand to left from Jannik, Sinner with depth, backhand from Alcaraz, and then backhand from Sinner. Forehand with depth from Alcaraz, then with Sinner backhand, then backhand to backhand. Oh, about 2 shots each. And then Jannik Sinner with a backhand to the right with depth. And Carlos Alcaraz got a bit of a forehand squash shot to it, but can't get the ball too much further. Love 15. Alcaraz with a wide serve, but it's maybe just out, so another serve still. Alcaraz with serve to centre of the box with depth, Sinner with backhand return. Backhand slice from Alcaraz, forehand from Sinner, backhand slice again from Alcaraz, backhand from Sinner, backhand to backhand with depth from Alcaraz, Sinner returns. And then Carlos Alcaraz with a forehand to the left, but it's just hit the net, so love 30. Alcaraz was served centre of the box with depth, and Jannik Sinner's forehand returning is a bit out, so 15-30. Alcaraz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return. Overhead smash from Carlos Alcaraz to the left with depth, and Jannik Sinner gets a forehand return to the right, but it just hits the net, so 30 all. Alcaraz was served to centre of the box with depth with a bit of kick, and Jannik Sinner's backhand return is just out, so 40-30. Second serve points won in this fifth and final set. 5 out of 8 for Jannik Sinner rather, and 7 out of 8 for Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz with serve towards wide, but hits the net, so second serve. Alcaraz serve centre of box, bit of depth, Sinner with backhand return, and then Carlos Alcaraz's backhand to the left is a bit out, so deuce. Alcaraz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner, forehand return rather. And Carlos Alcaraz with a forehand drop shot, and it's hit the top of the net and over and bounced in. Advantage Carlos Alcaraz on this Carlos Alcaraz service game. 3-1 Carlos Alcaraz in the final set with a breaker serve, 2 sets all, and final set. Alcaraz was served towards central depth. Sinner then forehand return with depth. Forehand to left with depth from Sinner. And Alcaraz returns and it's in. Forehand to the left with depth from Alcaraz, but it's just out, so deuce. Alcaraz was served towards the centre, but it just hits the net, so second serve. Alcaraz, the second serve wide. Sinner beforehand return, bit of depth, and Alcaraz beforehand to the right with depth. Jannik Sinner returns. And then a drive backhand volley to the left from Carlos Alcaraz. And it's a winner. Drive backhand volley winner from Carlos Alcaraz. Advantage Carlos Alcaraz on this Carlos Alcaraz service game. Alcaraz with a wide serve with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return with depth. Forehand from Alcaraz with a bit of depth, and then Sinner returns with forehand a bit. Then backhand with depth from Jannik Sinner a bit after that. And then backhand to backhand. And then Jannik Sinner's backhand of those shots is just out. So Carlos Alcaraz holds that service game. And it's 4-1 Carlos Alcaraz leading with breaker serve in the 5th and final set. 4-1 and 2 sets all. Jannik Sinner service game. In the 5th and final set, Carlos Alcaraz leads 4-1 with a breaker serve. 2 sets all. Sinner. Second serve, Jannik Sinner. To the centre. Alcaraz with a backhand return with depth and backhand from Sinner. Backhand to backhand a bit. But Carlos Alcaraz's third backhand to the right just hits the net. So 15 love. Sinner. A wide serve with depth just out. So second serve. Sinner second serve to the centre of the box with a bit of depth, and Carlos Alcaraz's forehand return to the right just hits the net. 30-love. Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth, and Carlos Alcaraz gets a bit of backhand racket on it but can't get it much further. So 40-love. Sinner serve towards centre by the box, but it's the top of the net and bounces a bit out. So second serve. Sinner's second serve, centre of the box. Alcaraz with a backhand return, backhand drop shot to the right from Jannik Sinner, and then Carlos Alcaraz is onto it with a backhand drop shot, but it just hits the net, and Jannik Sinner holds that service game. 4-2 Carlos Alcaraz with a break to serve in the fifth and final set. 2 sets all. Alcaraz with a wide serve with depth. Sinner with a forehand return with depth. Alcaraz with a forehand to left with depth. Backhand return from Jannik Sinner. Backhand volley from Carlos Alcaraz. But Jannik Sinner is onto it with a forehand drop shot to the left. And it's a forehand drop shot winner from Jannik Sinner. Love 15. Alcaraz, the serve towards centre of the box, bounces top of the net and then a bit out, so second serve. Alcaraz second serve. Wide with depth, Sinner returns, and backhand from Alcaraz to the left with depth. Backhand return from Jannik Sinner just out, so 15-all. Alcaraz with serve with depth towards centre of the box. Sinner returns. Then Carlos Alcaraz strikes a forehand to the left and a forehand winner from Carlos Alcaraz. 30-15. Alcaraz with a centre to wide serve. Sinner returns and after another shot, so Sinner with a forehand to left with a bit of depth. But then Carlos Alcaraz with depth with a forehand to the right. Forehand to the right with depth from Carlos Alcaraz. And Jannik Sinner's forehand return to the right is a bit out, so 40-15. Alcaraz with serve to the centre of a bit of depth, but the top of the net may be pre-bouncing, but another serve still. Alcaraz with serve to centre of the box with depth. Sinner returns. Backhand to the right from Alcaraz with depth. Forehand return from Jannik Sinner. And then Carlos Alcaraz with strikes a forehand to the left, but it's just out, so 40-30. Alcaraz for wide with depth. Jannik Sinner backhand return. And backhand drop shot to the left from Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner is onto it with backhand to left. Carlos Alcaraz with a lob. But Jannik Sinner with an overhead to the right. And it's an overhead smash winner from Jannik Sinner. Juice. Backhand drop shot from Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner onto it with backhand with depth. Forehand knob from Carlos Alcaraz. But an alright enough overhead smash winner from Jannik Sinner. Net points won this fifth and final set. 3 out of 5 for Carlos Alcaraz. 4 out of 8 for Jannik Sinner. Alcaraz was wide serve with depth. And Jannik Sinner's forehand return hits the net. So advantage for serve percentage in the fifth and final set. 61% for Carlos Alcaraz and 50% for Jannik Sinner. Carlos Alcaraz will serve to wide centre of the box with depth, and Jannik Sinner's backhand return is a bit out, and Carlos Alcaraz holds that service game, and Carlos Alcaraz may be potentially one game away from the French Open final. 2 sets all, but Carlos Alcaraz leads with a break of serve in the fifth and final set. 5-2. So 5-2 Carlos Alcaraz in the fifth and final set of a break of serve. 2 sets all. Jannik Sinner service game. Jannik Sinner got to hold this service game at least to still have a competitive chance in this match. Sinner, the wide serve, or serve towards wide rather, but it just hits the net, so second serve. Sinner second serve, centre of the box with kicking a bit of depth, and then Carlos Alcaraz's backhand return is a bit out, so 15-love on this Jannik Sinner service game. 5-2 Carlos Alcaraz in the fifth and final set with a break of serve. 2 sets all. Jannik Sinner with a wide serve with depth. Carlos Alcaraz backhand block return and forehand to left with depth from Jannik Sinner, and Sinner towards net. But Carlos Alcaraz with a backhand passing shot to the left, and it's a winner. Backhand passing shot winner from Carlos Alcaraz. 15-all. This match has been played for 4 hours. So probably be over 4 hours with all of this match. Sinner with a serve to the centre with depth. Backhand block return from Carlos Alcaraz. And then Jannik Sinner strikes with a bit of power with a forehand to the centre. And it's a forehand winner from Jannik Sinner. 30-15. Jannik Sinner reserve towards centre wide of the box, but just out, so second serve. Serve from centre of the box. A bit of kick, and then Carlos Alcaraz's backhand return is a bit out, so 40-15. Sinner for wide serve of depth. Carlos Alcaraz with a forehand depth on the return, and Jannik Sinner's forehand to left just hits the net. So 40-30. Sinner for wide serve with depth, and Carlos Alcaraz's backhand return is a bit out. So Jannik Sinner holds that service game. 5-3 Carlos Alcaraz in the fifth and final set with a breaker serve. 5-3 and 2 sets all. Potentially. One service game hold away from the final of the French Open. Alcaraz with Alcaraz serves to centre with a bit of depth, and then forehand to forehand depth from both players, but Jannik Sinner with a forehand a bit out, so 15-love. Carlos Alcaraz potentially 4 points away from the French Open final. Alcaraz for wide serve with depth. Sinner with a backhand return. And a forehand drop shot to the right from Carlos Alcaraz. But Jannik Sinner is passing on to it. And a backhand to the left. And it's in. Backhand winner from Jannik Sinner. 15-all. Carlos Alcaraz, forehand drop shot to the right. But Jannik Sinner onto it fast. And strikes a backhand winner to the left. Alcaraz, the wide serve with depth. It's a good serve. It's an ace from Carlos Alcaraz. 30-15. First ace of the fifth and final set. Alcaraz was serves to centre of the box with depth. Jannik Sinner with a backhand to the right with depth. And Carlos Alcaraz's forehand squash shot return is a bit out. So 30-all. Alcaraz for wide serve with depth. And Jannik Sinner's forehand return has just hit the net. And it's match point Carlos Alcaraz. on this Carlos Alcaraz service game. 5-3 Alcaraz in the 5th and final set, leading the breaker serve. And 40-30 on this Carlos Alcaraz service game. Match point. Match point for Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz, the serve to the centre with depth. Jannik Sinner forehand return and forehand from Alcaraz, forehand from Sinner. Forehand to forehand, 3 shots each. 4 shots each, forehand to left with depth from Jannik Sinner. And Carlos Alcaraz with a backhand slice. Can't get that ball a bit further. So deuce. Over 4 hours played for the whole of this match. Alcaraz was served towards the centre a bit, but it hits the top of the net and bounces a bit out. So second serve. Alcaraz. Alcaraz was served centre wide the box with depth. And Jannik Sinner's forehand return is just out. So advantage Carlos Alcaraz. Second match point. Alcaraz for wide serve with depth. Sinner returns depth from Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner of a forehand return. And then Carlos Alcaraz's forehand to the right is a bit out. So deuce. Alcaraz for wide serve with depth. And Jannik Sinner's forehand return is a bit out, so advantage Carlos Alcaraz. Third match point. Alcaraz was served to the centre of the box with depth. Sinner returns. Forehand from Alcaraz. Backhand. Forehand to left from Alcaraz with a bit of depth. Sinner returns. Now it's another shot or so. Sinner forehand. Then backhand to backhand. Backhand to left with depth from Carlos Alcaraz. And Jannik Sinner's forehand squash shot to the right is just out. And Carlos Alcaraz is into the French Open final. And has won in 5 sets. Edging it v Jannik Sinner. 2-6, 6-3, 3-6, 6-4, 6-3.